When did SmackDown get so good? So much happened this week on Friday Night Smackdown. So in today's video, we're going to talk about some of the most important things from that show, what I liked, what I didn't like, and where I think some of these stories are headed as we head towards the Royal Rumble and down the road to WrestleMania. Hey, do you have a wrestling guy yet? No? Well, maybe it should be me. You should subscribe. Starting off with Drew McIntyre, I really like a heel champion. I like how he came out there tonight and basically was like, you guys didn't care about me before, so why should I care about you now? You guys are all cheering me, but you weren't there when I was down in the dumps. You weren't there when I got fired. You didn't follow me into the indies. Really great heel promo. I prefer a heel champion to a babyface champion. I think it's a lot more entertaining. I think the fight for that title just becomes more interesting when a heel is holding it. Obviously, the whole thing between Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu, and Cody Rhodes isn't over. I feel like Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu will probably have a match, I'm saying, at Saturday night's main event. I do think that ultimately what WWE is heading towards is a triple threat match between these three, probably at WrestleMania for the Undisputed title. So it'll probably be Jacob Fatu winning the Rumble and then Cody Rhodes somehow also getting involved there. What would be really interesting is if one of them wins the Rumble and the other wins the Chamber, but they both want to go after the Undisputed title. I think that would be a really fun way of going about this. But anyway, I don't know how WWE is going to get there, but I do think that this is ultimately going to end up being a triple threat match at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes being the first to declare into the Rumble is pretty interesting too. It just feels like a really entitled place for Cody Rhodes, which I feel like isn't how he's been booked before. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. I like the way that Jacob Fatu was just everywhere tonight, just beating down random people, just trying to get his point across. I think they need to give this guy the mic more. He is so entertaining on the mic. He cuts such great promos. Yaramin, all gas, no brakes, all of that, right? Like, the dude is super charismatic. The crowd obviously loves him. He's a favorite on this channel. So I think that you need to give him the mic more and just allow him to be Jacob Fatu. The dude is an absolute superstar. Let's put the title on him, honestly. Let's get him to WrestleMania. Let's have him win that triple threat match. And I don't think anyone would have a problem with that. Look, do I like that he beat down Kit Wilson tonight for no reason? No. Because Kit Wilson is a megastar. We love Kit Wilson. He was cutting a great heel promo. Also, I don't know what WWE is doing with Kit Wilson because they're trying to book him as a heel, but everyone's fallen in love with him. They gave him the best theme song to come out to. His character is just so great. Everyone's cheering him. He was cheered super loud tonight, and it wasn't because it was in London. I mean, part of it probably had to do with the fact that it was in London, but I guarantee you he's going to get cheered next week when they're in Montreal, the week after that where they are, wherever the hell they're going. This dude is just, everyone loves him. He's not a heel WWE, so figure that out. We had the 4 qualifying matches tonight for that fatal 4-way number 1 contenders match at Saturday night's main event. I like that all 4 of these matches were intertwined. I like that they all kind of bled into each other. So we had Randy Orton versus The Miz first, and not a whole lot of intertwining went on there, except for Randy Orton coming out and interrupting Drew McIntyre and basically putting himself as the front runner for winning this match. I don't know if he's going to win this Fatal 4-Way. I mean, my 2 favorites for it are him and Sami Zayn. Sami just because it's in Montreal, just because the Rumble's in Saudi Arabia. So they love Sami in Saudi. They love Sami in Montreal. So what a great gift to give people, right? Like a match with this dude in basically 2 places that just absolutely love him. So those are my 2 front runners. But after tonight, after seeing Randy Orton go out there and confront Drew McIntyre, it just kind of hinted a little bit at what WWE is doing. So the match is going to be Trick Williams, Damian Priest, Sami Zayn, and Randy Orton. I do think Randy Orton will end up winning this match. Spoiler alert for my predictions video at some point. But I do think that Randy's going to end up winning this match. I don't think he'll end up winning the title, but I don't even know anymore. WWE is doing some really fun stuff right now with titles and just kind of ping-ponging them around, so I don't really know. But like I said, these matches were all kind of intertwined. So Trick Williams beat Matt Cardona, And then that's when Kit Wilson came out and beat down Matt Cardona, which at first I was like, well, that's random. But then the commentator said that Matt Cardona's first match back was against Kit Wilson. I forgot about that. So Kit Wilson was already beaten by Matt Cardona. Maybe this will turn into a longer feud of a few matches. Great. I love more Kit Wilson on my TV. I want to see him do more matches. I want to see him get involved in storylines. So I have absolutely no problem with that. So Trick Williams won that match. And then afterwards, Trick Williams was like cutting a promo in the back where he was being really cocky. Damian Priest then confronts him and challenges him for a match next week. But then also during Sami Zayn and Ilya Dragunov's match, when Sami wins, after the match, Trick Williams then attacks Sami for some reason. Then Sami also had a segment with Drew McIntyre where, by the way, the fact that Drew has beaten Sami Zayn 11 times and it sounds like Sami Zayn has never won, I did not know that. It blew my mind, and that's a story in itself. So I hope WWE revisits this. If not now, I hope they come back to it and have this be a thing for Sami, that he has never beaten Drew and he wants to beat Drew. But anyway, I like the way that these four people were kind of intertwined today into this match. You know, putting a little bit more higher stakes in this match, making this match just feel a little bit more interesting. So yeah, I mean, it's exciting, right? We're getting into the exciting part of WWE season. We're getting into the WrestleMania season, the Rumble in 2 weeks, and then man, it's really feeling like the Rumble's in 2 weeks. So I'm really glad with what WWE did with all this. Also, Lash Legend and Nia Jax as heels. That's really fun. Like, they're such a fun heel like team. I like this whole like mean girl thing they're doing to Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, where they're kind of trying to drive a wedge between them. Last week they were talking to Alexa Bliss, being like, "Oh, why isn't your friend here?" And then this week talking to Charlotte Flair, being like, "Oh, listen, I used to be friends with Alexa, and she totally stabbed me in the back before, and she's totally gonna do that to you too." So I like that whole dynamic that they have. After that match that Charlotte and Alexa had with Julia and Kiana James, when Nia and Lash came out and attacked them, fine, whatever. That was just a way to get them into a triple threat match. So that triple threat match for number one contendership for the tag team titles is interesting, especially because there is another number one contender now, right? With who is it? Liv and Roxanne Perez. They won number one contendership at Raw. I don't know if that match is happening next week on Raw, and then the winner of this match gets that winner, or if it's a triple threat match. I don't know, but it feels like we are going further and further away from women's tag team TLC. And WWE just needs to give us that match, and then I don't care what they do with this division. I don't care if they keep doing this week by week thing. I don't care if we never see these people fight in a tag team together again. But WWE just needs to give us that match. I'm hoping that this is just Triple H's long form storytelling, and we'll get that match at WrestleMania. It takes away a lot of women from the main event scene, but also the main event scene is feeling kind of cool again. Like, there's some new players in it, and I don't hate the way they're going there. I like that the typical main eventers are busy doing this, because it's giving a lot of different women bigger opportunities going for the bigger titles. So I kind of like it. WWE is kind of cooking right now, and they're doing something different, and I like it. I really do. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. And by that, what I mean is the whole Jordynne Grace thing, right? Like, Jordynne Grace had that match with Chelsea Green. I thought it was really weird and interesting that Jade Cargill was just there watching this match. Like, there was no mention as to why. It wasn't like, oh, they had that confrontation last week, which obviously they had that confrontation last week, and that's why Jade Cargill was there. But there was, like, no mention of that. It was just, Jade watching a match. But I like that Jordynne Grace is involved in this. I would have liked her to get involved in the mid-card scene, and maybe that was the original plan, but with all of these injuries happening right now, they kind of just needed to mix things up and just throw her straight into the main event scene. Again, I don't think that she'll be Jade Cargill. Like, maybe she'll get a match at the Rumble. It'll probably be Jade versus Jordynne Grace at the Rumble. Maybe Saturday night's main event. Right now there's 2 matches, I think, for Saturday night's main event. I forget what the other match is, but it's the Fatal 4-Way for the number one contendership. And I forget what other match we've already said for that. But so maybe we'll get that match there. Maybe we'll get it at the Rumble. We're definitely going to get that match before WrestleMania. Again, I don't think that there's any chance that Jade Cargill is going to win. Or I'm sorry, that Jordynne Grace is going to win, because ultimately we're getting Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. And I think that that's the right call. But it's an interesting feud to keep both of these women busy. And I think eventually Jordynne Grace will absolutely be a world champion. It's just not going to be before Mania. Now, why Chelsea Green had to lose clean and just get pinned like that, I don't know. I don't like it, because we love Chelsea Green here, but let's get her involved in the main event scene also, right? Like, let's let her be a part of this. And maybe they will, because after the match, you have that whole thing where she tried to attack Jordynne Grace, but then accidentally attacked Jade Cargill. So maybe that's a way of like her having maybe a match against Jade at some point. But I mean, we all know if that does happen, Jade's going to squash Chelsea Green. So I don't know if I want that either, but I just, I demand more respect for Chelsea Green. That's all. Leon Slater versus Carmelo Hayes for that U.S. title open challenge. That was a really fun match too. I'm of two minds, because I like the open challenge thing because it gives a lot of new people opportunities. It allows for like some cool surprises. It allows for people to make debuts, for people to show up from like TNA, like Leon Slater did tonight. But also, I feel like Carmelo Hayes needs a story. There is a story happening with the U.S. Championship, which, by the way, why Tama Tonga had to go and tell Shinsuke Nakamura that he's going after the U.S. title, I don't know. I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like why should Shinsuke care that Tama Tonga is going after the title? Shinsuke went after the title last week. He answered the open challenge and he lost. So why is Tama Tonga now telling Shinsuke Nakamura, hey, I got next? Shinsuke doesn't care. Shinsuke lost. Anyway, I'm of two minds, because I enjoy the open challenge, but also Carmelo Hayes just needs a storyline. He needs to shine. He shines in stories. He shines on the mic. He shines when he's talking to people, when he's involved with other people. So it's I don't know. I feel like he just needs a little bit more to elevate him, right? That's the other thing, is if he shines in stories and we all get behind him, it just boosts him up higher to eventually get to the main event picture. So I don't know. It's tough, but I am ultimately enjoying the open challenge. I've been saying for a while that I think Tama Tonga is the next champion. I even said that when Ilya Dragunov was a champion, so obviously I was wrong. But Tama Tonga should win the title, especially now that I think the Wyatt Sicks are going to lose their tag team titles, right? There is a match between the MFTs and the Wyatt Sicks for those tag team titles next week. I think that this is where the Wyatts finally lose it. I think it becomes a thing where they lose it because of the lantern, like somehow Bray's lantern, maybe, I don't know, maybe they're about to destroy it and that distracts them, or I don't know, someone tries to run away with it, they try to get it back, and I feel like that causes some sort of distraction that causes the Wyatt Sicks to lose their championship, because the championship is less important than Bray Wyatt's lantern, and I think that that's a cool story that they're telling there. I want to see a darker, more aggressive Wyatt Sicks after this. I don't know who they go after after this whole MFT storyline is done and dealt with, but I want to see them be more aggressive. I want to see them be a little bit spookier. But ultimately, I'm liking the storyline, but I think it's come to its conclusion. I think next week, I think they're having that match next week. I think next week, after they lose their tag team titles, we can move on to something else for the Wyatts. The MFTs too. So I think that after the MFTs win the tag team titles, I do think Tama Tonga should win that U.S. title, and then Solo Sikoa can claim that he's going after the undisputed title. Although I don't think he's gonna win it. Like, maybe he'll win it eventually, but not anytime soon. So let's drape the MFTs in gold, in mid-card gold, but let's drape them in gold and go from there. The one thing I'm not a fan of, and you let me know what you think, is the whole Axiom and Johnny Gargano thing, especially now that Tommaso Ciampa isn't there. It just feels like, why is this tag team feuding with Johnny Gargano? And like, yeah, okay, Johnny has Axiom's mask, but like Axiom still has a mask. So it's like, oh, you took one of my 47 masks? Okay, cool, keep it. I don't know. But like the fact that they're feuding with Johnny Gargano over this mask just It does nothing for me. This whole feud does nothing for me. Again, once the MFTs win the tag team championships, I feel like that's going to open up the tag team division again. Maybe we'll get the Street Profits back. Maybe we'll get the Motor City Machine Guns back, and we'll get the ball rolling with the tag teams again. But in the meantime, this feud, I guess, yeah, it's a filler feud, but I don't care about it. I don't care who wins. Nathan Frazier and, is it Frazier or Fraser? Whatever. He has a match against Johnny Gargano next week. I don't care who wins. I need this whole thing to end because, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments if you think that this is an entertaining feud, if you think that this is an entertaining storyline, because it's just not doing it for me. So that's everything that happened this week on Friday Night Smackdown. There's a whole lot going on this week. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it already, if you watch my 60-second reviews, I didn't stay under 60 seconds this week. Because there's a lot. I mean, there was 6 matches that went on tonight. There was like 8 different stories happening behind the scenes. A bunch of stuff set up for next week and for Saturday night's main event. They packed a whole lot into this show. I love this 3-hour SmackDown. Last time SmackDown went to 3 hours, it just felt like they were filling time with video packages and people's entrances and stuff that didn't matter. But this time around, 6 matches in a 3-hour show. They don't even do that on Raw. So I was really happy with the show this week. The show has been absolutely great since the new year. But honestly, Raw's been a little bit but it hasn't been bad either. So I feel like both shows are just doing what they need to do right now, setting things up as we head down to WrestleMania. Royal Rumble in a couple weeks. How exciting is that? Earlier start time because it's in Saudi Arabia and WWE. But that show is the most fun show of the year, obviously, every year. I think it's my favorite show. That and Money in the Bank are just the 2 most entertaining things that WWE does. So really excited about that. I keep changing my mind about who I think is going to win. But let me know in the comments who you think is going to win the Rumble. Let me know what you think about Friday Night Smackdown. How great are these shows right now? Really exciting. Also, that crowd in London was absolutely amazing. But anyway, since you made it this far, make sure to drop a like if you haven't done so already. Make sure to subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you thought about tonight's Friday Night Smackdown. Let me know where you think some of these things are going. Do you think the MFTs are going to win the championships next week? I do. And I think they should, honestly. I love the Wyatts, but I think it's time. Anyway, though, as always, look, make sure to click on one of my videos because, I think it'll be somewhere here. So click on it, watch another one of my videos. If you haven't done so already, subscribe. What are you waiting for? Subscribe. This is a really fun channel. We post a lot on this channel. And I think you'll like it. If you don't have a wrestling guy, I'd love to be your wrestling guy. So, anyway, though, as always, until next time, have a nice day.